So yesterday was a pretty good video. Nothing crazy, but a lot of wiring done. I got my battery charger going here. This is a brand new 360, it's a cranking amp battery, Husky. I think it was $36, something like that, from Tractor Supply. My wife picked it up for me. And fits about right there perfectly. All I gotta do is make a bracket. I also have my little cheater gas tank that I like to use for throw like a gallon of gas in so I can test an engine or something like that. I might actually mount that somewhere. That'd be an extra gallon somewhere if you run out of gas, because I don't have a gas gauge. You don't have a gas gauge with those big aluminum tanks. I put it over there for safekeeping in the corner. But I'd like to run it on this. Maybe go up and down the road once or twice, considering I've only driven it twice. My new electrical system is cranking out here. I got, like I said, 8 wires left in the back. I want to make a battery tray right now with some angle iron. I got a big strip of angle iron right there somewhere. It was in the driveway. I don't know where the hell it went. But I got all kinds of metal. I got this piece here, this clean piece. I want to put this on the front, on the face of this a little bit, maybe 6 inches or so, and come forward and have this hold the bumper up all the way around the back, so I won't have any supports like that holding it up. That was a thought too. So 2 things to make. Let's see what I can do tonight. It's absolutely beautiful out. It's really nice out. It's cool but not hot. My welding mask died. See my dead welding mask? I don't have another one. So I borrowed one. I got Jeff's. I borrowed Jeff's. It actually works better than the friggin' Miller does. It's pretty bad. That's like a $300 mask and it's junk. Probably get a new thing. It's blinking. And there's no battery in it. It's solar, so it's definitely not a battery issue. Alright. I made a bracket coil. Let me zoom out here. Whoops, sorry. Let me zoom out. I made a coil to hold the bracket off the center versus sticking it over here where my little plaque is. Hold it off the center. Quarter 20 nuts. Plug welded to the back of a plate, and works pretty good. Might not lay it flat like that, or I might. We'll see. But whatever works. I just have to have it mounted right now. I don't want it kicking around. Alright, so try not to hit the zoom. It's so easy to do. Battery charging. I need to make a battery tray. I'm going to measure this thing up, make some angle iron something. See if I can mount this somewhere so it could be removable. Run a fuel line. What else? The coil wire, the ignition wire, the idle solenoid wire, the distributor wire, and the oil switch, the idiot light switch underneath there. That's the oil light switch. Idle solenoid. The alternator wire for the idiot light in the dash goes right there. And I have to do a ground from here, from the coil. Goes into a ground, and then a positive to it on number 15, and good to go. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I made 2 of these, and I made 2 of these. There's one of them on the bumper with a level on it, because I got the jack holding the back up. I'm using a battery to hold it up. It's a junk battery. But it's level. I got that C-channel on the face of the tube, and I got my little L bracket connecting to it. I found this nice piece of aluminum, angle iron. I think those are 2-inch. But here's my hole. It's a little bit of a difference on the angle, but that's okay. I'm going to tack it, and then I'm going to grind the back, and probably end up taking the bumper off after I make the other one, have it all lined up. Got to make sure it's nice and square here too. Shouldn't be too bad. I'll put a level on this. Alright, making pieces and having fun. Hot off the presses. Let's see. Buzz. Tack. Tacky. No tacky. I kind of like went too far and then whoops, missed it. Tacky. Tacky. There's the C-channel. Just got to take the bumper off and finish the welds. And find a bolt that fits here too. These metric bolts. I only have one right here. One. Where is it? It's under there. I only have one. But that's the idea. Hold up my bumper. Just a guard versus running it with no bumper. You know, just let it float. These are coming off next, I hope. Looks pretty good. I can weld the bottom. Well, stuck already. I made a nice little battery tray out of, I think this is 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 angle iron. It's pretty thin, but that's all we need. If I don't drop it, thing's heavy. That's it. Rounded the edges, ground the sides, took off the sharp corners. I just need a way to hang it in here somewhere. Whether I make a bracket, I can't get anywhere near that arm, so it's got to be over there. Or off of this bracket up here. Not necessarily sitting there, but... Alright, let's see how good the battery fits. I'm going to do this with 2 hands here. Bingo! Look at that. Got a little 1/8 inch gap and a little 1/8 inch gap. Almost nothing here. And the other side, almost nothing there. That was my project for tonight. I'd like to make 2 because I really want to have 2 batteries. But we'll see. That's it for now. It is Friday night. Well, my electrical is almost done. Hey, I don't have the battery hooked up, so that ain't gonna work. That's it for tonight. I am going in. Have a good night. Ugh. The fucker's heavy. Especially with my left hand. I didn't weld in the corners, just around the outside. I mean, this is overkill, but is it overkill awesome? Have a good night. Battery tray 101. First I made a base side angle iron to fit the bottom. Fits nice and tight. I'm going to put a piece of probably 1/4 inch plywood in there. Just something so it doesn't sit directly on the metal. This is, I believe, 2 inch. I made a piece that hooks as long as the width of the battery itself, and I'll show you why. It's probably kind of hot. I got this piece here. Bingo. We have a battery tray. And if I like, I can make one for the other side. This thing's way too hot to hold. Woo, that thing's hot. Alright, I've had a pretty good night making brackets and making things work. My bumper's finally holding itself up. About time. That's it. I am going in. You have a good night. It's backwards, dummy. There we go. It's freezing in here. I'm running out of juice. Gotta go get some juice. I wired up the brake lights. What else did I do? The bracket's done for the battery holder. I put that little gas tank, like I said. I drove it last night, but I don't have a throttle. I kind of let it run and idle and took it for a ride up and down the street. It's doing a death wobble right now because my tires are so far off. This one's got to go forward and that one's got to go back. I have to align those plates. I hate those plates. I might have to ream this one out. I don't think it lets it go back very far. I gotta find a way to put a jack or something in here and push the sucker back. It's just too much. One tire towed in, one tire towed out, or whatever you call it. But my lights work. The brake light is hooked up. The problem is when you go to LED, they only give you 3 wires: a ground, a parking light, and a brake light. And your brake lights and your directionals are on the same circuit. So I'm going to put what they call an MC25 in line with it. It's a make or break relay. It'll disconnect the brake light depending on what directional is pressed. Alright, back in a bit. I gotta go get some kerosene. Woohoo! Alright, so we're not going to use an MC25. I'm going to use this. Hopkins Vehicle Converter. Independent turn signals, brake lights, blah blah blah. This is common bulb, but if as long as you have an LED flasher, it should work. I'll keep the stuff over there, so if I have to return it. So what you get is 3 wires out: a ground, tail light, left turn, right turn, which is also the brake light when you're done. Ground, tail light, left turn, brake, right turn. So it turns the brake into 2 singles, or like an old Mustang, like a '65 Mustang. You can. Why am I shaking? It's freaking cold out here. Oh. Like an old Mustang, it turns one of the bulbs into also a directional aside from being the brake light. So, and that's the issue I have with this. Turn the power on, you hit a directional. Directionals work, you don't have a brake light. So that's what I'm working on. I'd also like to put the bigger relays I have. I couldn't find my relay, so I bought a bigger one. That's a little one. That'd work, but I want something that's at least, I believe, 10 amp. Can you see that? Alright, Having fun. What a busy day. Here's my spaghetti mess. I've actually been shortening up wires. You see how some are bound up and some aren't. But it should clean up nice. I added 2 wires, actually 4 wires, for each directional light. I found these LEDs and I had to modify this little those little light sockets. Let me show you. I got one here somewhere. Maybe not. Here you go. I got one of these and you just have to cut off the tabs and then they press into the back of these really nice. So one piece of tape holds it up in there good. So let's try this. I know I just did a full spin on you. Power on. Okay. We're going to try right directional. You got it there. We got the LED in the dash. Pretty bright too. You missed that, you're an idiot. We have the right rear tail light directional. Okay, we'll go to the left. The left directional. Left directional up there. And the left directional in the back. I used one of those trailer light adapters right there. It was 15 bucks. Turns a 4-wire into a 3-wire for the LEDs. The only problem is you have to have an electronic flasher, which I already do, so luckily. That's the alternator light. It does work. So I got left directional, right directional, and high beam. Here's high beam. Not that you can't tell, but it's another light. I need one more light, and that is for this one. The orange wire is the oil light all the way at the back. All the way back there. The oil light switch. The idiot light, if you want to call it. This one actually goes to the ground on the coil, so it could be like a hidden kill switch. No matter how many times you turn it over, it ain't going to budge. But I had an extra wire, and that was an open plug, so I connected it. But looking good. And then my siren, of which it isn't working. Oh yeah, I took it off. I took it off because I was messing with the wire. Here's the ground right here. Let me put that back on. One sec. One plug. I was like, why didn't it work? Okay, I was using it as a ground. So here's my siren, my little ceramic button here. I also have another little piezo horn that I put on. Let me see if I can get you over there. One of these things, remember that? I've had one of those for years and I never got to use it. I was like, hey, let's add another horn. So we got 1 horn, 2 horns, 3 horns. I like horns. While my wiring for the rear lights can shove up into the tube, I found these multi-strand wires from work. Left directional, right directional, grounds, and parking lights. So all that'll shove up in the tube. But if I have to disconnect it, I can just unplug it and take the bumper off. My lights are still off because, well, I have to paint the bumper and I still got to do some work to the bumper before they can go back on. I put the chrome thingies back on. It's got like a chrome border. They're pretty bright too. I wish I could see. Oh yes. I'll try this. Here's the directional. Alright. Here's the brake light. Here's the directionals. Same time. Brake lights. Directional. Brake lights. So that works. Am I zoomed in? Frickin' zoom, man. Try that again. Okay. Brake lights. Brake lights and a directional. Brake lights and the other directional. So everything's working. And everything's powered by one switch. Of which I have to put a kill switch. Oh, I found the light bulb for my speedometer too. A couple of these wires are just floating here because I ran out of wire loom. I got some small stuff I'm going to put around these. But that's each one of the directionals and I believe the LED. That's it. I am going in. I probably have 2 or 3 videos to mix together. And plenty of pictures. So, have a good night. It's another night. I'll probably spend an hour or 2 out here. Got my lights working like I said. I found this tachometer. This is pretty cool. Little sun tack I've had for years. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We'll see. What have I done? Well, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'll bring it up. I put a little red LED light for the oil pressure. When you turn on the key, it comes on, but the second the engine's running, it should drop out. That is the alternator light. Same thing. Once you get it running, that drops out. That's your high beam light. I have left directional, right directional, and I have the siren. Try it one more time. These are now LED. They're actually too bright. It actually hurt. It magnifies it, and it's already an LED. Here's the other one. I might add one more button over here, just like this one. Besides the siren. I have a little shriek horn, but I'd like an awooga horn or a like a bullhorn. My lights to the speedometer is wired. That's got its own wire now. It's all, there's no bracket for it yet, but it's just hanging there. The only reason it's making a connection is because it's touching the bare handlebars, of which have to be taken off and painted, so one of those days that'll happen. I tightened up my neck bearings because they were really, really loose. It was flopping all over the place. I've got it so it's just about to where you struggle with it a little, so they'll loosen up. You can just barely see them. See the little square? It's actually the LED. Look how bright this thing is. Yeah, if you think it's bright on the camera, you should see it in person. But everything goes off. Boop. Boop. It's a wiring nightmare. Actually, this don't belong here. But I've been shortening up wires. This is my kill switch. I've been shortening up wires and tying them all up to the loom, so once it's in there, it should be all nice and pretty. I did find my heavier relay. I got a nice heavy relay here somewhere. I lost these 2 yellow relays for like 3 days. Could not find them. I bought the connectors for them, put them in something, and couldn't find them. Turns out they ended up in this container, this little storage bin thing, of which I just dumped out, and all my brass is in here now. All my fittings and ferrules and adapters and tapers and angles and 1/8 inch NPT, 1/4 inch NPT, 3/8 NPT, you name it, 1/2 inch. All in there. But this is all my classic stuff. I love this light. I would like to use that, but I don't know for what. It's so bright. I got an LED in there, and the LED points out it's pretty bright, and that glass crystal makes it even brighter. It's like Yahoo! But I like that thing. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I got buttons like this, and more buttons like this. Here's the other button I might use. We'll see. There's my candle. This is kind of a story to this thing. I was about 12 years old, and my grandmother had a yard sale, and she had all these globes and the bases to the things, and we put this one together. I mean, we picked through like 20 different globes and stuff. I've had this thing since I'm about 12 years old, and once in a while I light the thing and let it go, you know. I just filled it with kerosene because it only had a little bit left. It actually dried up from not being used, so, but it was something I keep. I'm just terrified of it because if it fell, I'd be in trouble. This was another idea too. I got this Volkswagen thing off the back of a new Beetle. I drilled a 1/4 inch hole in it, and it's going to be top of my nasty air cleaner. I thought that was cute. I just need a long 1/4 bolt. I don't have any. That's kind of amazing I don't have any. I should look over here. This is my multicolor LED thing. This is pretty cool. The switch fell out, but I've got a blue LED, and I have a bunch. These are multicolors. You turn it on, I think they're white or something. You press the button, and they change rainbow like different colors. You could pick red, green, blue, yellow, purple. But this is a blue one. I could use that somewhere. It's massive. You connect the ground heat, you connect the power here, your ground there, and there's a power lead. I also have a USB adapter now. I was thinking about it. I might buy one of those USB things that goes on the dash or clips to the steering bars, the handlebars, and put a couple of USB ports on. I still haven't found a place for this thing. Maybe we can make another one. Pour la merit. Of course, the birth date and the death date of Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron. This guy here, keep that thing safe too. Paid like 20 bucks for that thing. Had to have it. It's really nice. But I've been out here a while. The oil light is on. There's really no more wires left. I'm all done. Unless I add a tachometer somewhere, there's no other lights to wire. I'd have to run another full set of wires for that thing because it uses four, I believe two powers, a power, a ground, one to the tack, and I don't know what the other one is, but I could look it up. Not that I need a tachometer, but maybe it could go back there somewhere. Who knows? Nice and greasy. I got this one connection. I might move that to somewhere else. All the other wires are in a loom. They go up to about here. The ones for the directional split that way. Now I haven't wrapped these in this stuff yet, but I'm getting some more of this stuff. This one's the engine part. The engine loom goes all the way up. Here's the brake line I used. Goes up over the transmission, goes over here, and goes down between the starter and connects to this little gas can, because I just wanted to run it and I wanted some gas, so that's my spare tank. I think that's like 2 gallons, I don't know. Those things are pretty cool. I use that thing for everything. Now it's going to be my backup. I've been keeping my coil wire off so I don't smoke the thing while I'm sitting here playing with lights. I got to take the bumper off hopefully tomorrow, mess with the brackets, do a little finish welding to the underside of these things, cut these tubes off, and hopefully grind them clean because they touch the exhaust. See it? Touches the exhaust. Not good. What else? I gotta put some marker lights on this thing too. You don't want to have no marker lights. That'll be another harness all itself. Probably one wired to the parking lights. But my little heater's cranking over here. It's actually really friggin' cold tonight. But I'm loving it, you know. Everything's working. Beep, beep. All these buttons to play with. What's this one? I forget. Oh, that's engine start. Let's see if it'll start. It should start with the coil wire on. Give it a shot of gas. And put the coil wire on. You're going to hear the idle solenoid click. Hear it clicking? Okay. No hands on nothing, just the starter. I guess not. That battery's pretty dead too because I've been messing with it all night. I'll put the charger on it. That's it. Probably 2 or 3 videos to mix together. I'm going in. Let's make sure I take this off. Have a good night. I have these crazy bright halogen lights kicking around, so I decided I'd put them on here. There's one there, and there's one there. And I noticed after I got them on that it says top. Awesome. Of course they were both upside down. But it seems that the lights, the wires to the lights run to the right no matter what you do. So that's okay. This one can be wired underneath here. You won't even see it. But those are freaking bright. Wicked bright. It might be connected to the high beam or something. I don't know. Oh, freaking A. I'm so tired. Alright, going in.